Well, if nobody is going to say it, I guess I have to. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is insane. This is highway robbery. This is not normal. We will talk about the newest updates on Joel Embiid and Paul George and talk about why the Sixers fan base is yet again in uproar. Speaking of Paul George, can he actually turn it around? Can he bounce back and get out of this miserable shooting slump? We'll talk about him and his contract. And the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes just took a crazy turn. Some people actually think the Sixers could throw their name in the hat. We'll get into it all, but welcome in to Philly Take with RB. Do me a huge favor right now. Like the video. Help us get to 1,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to bring you all the coverage, including all of the videos leading up to the trade deadline. We have a lot to get into, but a couple quick hitters here of news. Ricky Council's contract with the Sixers becomes guaranteed for the season at 5 p.m. So Ricky Council will be with the Sixers on and forward to the end of the year. Also, Kelly Oubre Jr. assessed a post-game flop of last night's game against the Suns. $2,000 fine. Since when do people get fined after games for flopping during the game? Like, is that what they're looking at? They don't call the foul as it is. So I guess that's where we're at. But Kelly Oubre gets hit with a flopping fine. And we have to talk about this 76ers team because they go down last night in a game where the Suns were trying to hand it to you. The Suns were not trying to win. They'd lost 7 out of 8. They looked terrible. And the Sixers essentially gave up. No Joel Embiid and no Drummond last night. And the woes continue as Joel Embiid and Paul George are now both officially out for tomorrow night's game against the Washington Wizards. Joel Embiid has now missed 22 out of 35 games, and Paul George has missed 11 games. Ladies and gentlemen, this is insane. Like, this is to the point now where it's not even funny. Like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. It is Tuesday afternoon. And they've already been ruled out for tomorrow night. Joel Embiid with a foot sprain, and Paul George has groin tightness. How does Paul George have groin tightness? The man didn't do anything yesterday. Are you kidding me? Here's the Sixers' upcoming schedule because, a lot of people have come in the comments the last few weeks, and I find it hilarious. They say, hey, you keep switching up. You keep switching your energy. Like, you should be confident. You should be positive. Well, here's the thing, man. We only do what the Sixers do. The Sixers have literally been so bipolar this season. It is not even funny. The team starts out 3-14. Then they start to win some games. They go 10 out of 13 wins. And now Joel Embiid sits out for rest against the Kings. They choke a 15-point run at the end of the game. Then they get blown out by 40 with him back on the court. And then last night, 30 minutes before the game, he goes out again. And now he's out again. This is not normal, right? And if the Sixers want to sit here and act like, oh, we could just, weave our way through this easy part of the schedule and, we'll get through, we'll win some games. Well, here's the upcoming schedule after this week, all right? They got the Wizards tomorrow night, now without Embiid, Paul George, Lowry's still out, Drummond might be out again. Pelicans, who are tanking, the Magic, who are banged up. And after Sunday, all right, here's their upcoming schedule. Thunder, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, Nuggets, Cavs. Then they have the Bulls, Lakers, and then Kings, who have won their last 5. Denver, Boston, Dallas, Miami. So if this team thinks that they are going to continue playing around with us, they are going to get a real reality check. And somebody hit me up last night who got to the game, and then Joel Embiid was ruled out, and they said, I can't believe I wasted my money. That's how people feel right now. Don't let them continue to run one over on you. This is insane. This is actually insane. I'm starting to wonder if these guys are going to play half the games this season. I'm starting to wonder if they're actually going to play half the games. People keep saying, yeah, let's keep them healthy and fresh for the playoffs. They might not get here. And here's the worst part, ladies and gentlemen. Last night before the game, Nick Nurse was asked about the Sixers and their approach to the back-to-backs, especially with Embiid. And here's what he said, quote, I think there should be some improvement in that as far as guys playing. I think we would like to be hoping guys are playing whether it is a back-to-back or not. So Nick Nurse last night said, we're not only going to start playing back-to-backs, we're going to be playing all the games. And now they're out again. This is ridiculous. It should not be happening. And at some point, you're going to lose, if you haven't already, the entire fan base. I mean, this has been the hardest season to talk about. You know, you showed a little bit potential, a little bit of what if with Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid on the floor, but they don't play, right? Or earlier in the summer, I said, hey, you know, I'm cool with load managing if they miss 20, 25, 30 games, not 65, right? How do you build any consistency? There is no chemistry, and it's hard to decipher when you come to these players because it's like, are they not playing well because they're just not playing well? Are they not playing well because of Nick Nurse? Are they not playing well because one night Tyrese is asked to be the number one, the next night he's the third option, the next night Joel plays, next night he doesn't, Paul George in, out. These guys don't have identified roles that are consistent, and it feels like they're just throwing different stuff at the wall every game. Last night you have the whole young crew playing who hasn't played in like 10 games. So this team is just going down a bad road. And even when they were winning 10 out of 13, I stood here and I said, hey, we just have to see them play a consistent stretch together. That is what I've been waiting for all season long. They are 35 games in and they still can't get the big three to play a stretch together. This is literally the nightmare season, man. It is unreal. Now, speaking of the big three, we got to talk about Paul George, okay? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is getting out of hand. It might be out of hand. I have praised Paul George and his defensive prowess. He's been one of the best defenders on the team, and he has certainly done his thing on that side of the ball. But you were brought here to be the third option, and last night, what did he go? 4 for 15 again? The guy cannot hit a wide open three to save his life. 4 in a row, I think he missed last night. He's not playing well. He's not. And, you know, Tyrese Maxey is struggling as well. They don't have an identity on the floor, and Paul George cannot do anything except try to break down a defender just to get stopped in his tracks, go behind the back, and get plucked. And it just doesn't look good right now. $53 million Paul George, as people are calling him, is a advanced Tobias Harris. Now, I don't know if I would agree with that 100%, but for the Sixers to unlock anything, Paul George has to do something, right? When they brought him here, we didn't expect him to be this number one option superstar, but what Sixer fans expected him to be was the guy that, hey, if Joel Embiid's out of game, you can step up, take the reins, and go make it happen. And he's just not doing that right now. 33.5% is his career low, dating back to his rookie year. Paul George is averaging 16 points a game. I mean, it literally feels like a Tobias Harris right now with the scoring. Like, it's unbelievable. They need more. He can't keep going 5 for 17, 5 for 18, and all that. So, that's where I'm at with Paul George. I think he can turn it around, but one, he's going to have to be fresh and healthy, and two, they got to start running some plays because it just is so ugly right now. But if you had the chance, would you actually trade Paul George for Jimmy Butler? If you could get Jimmy back right now, we asked this last week. A lot of people said no. Would you make the move? Give me your thoughts down low. Let me know why. We're going to talk about the Jimmy Butler sweepstakes, but I got to give a shout out to Mando. Shout out to Mando for partnering with the show in 2025. It is 2025, and you want to come into the new year fresh. You got to check out Mando, a whole body deodorant brand that was created by a doctor who saw how body odor was being misdiagnosed and decided to create this amazing product. If you're someone out there that, say, sweats a lot or someone that needs deodorant on the go, it is perfect for you, as it is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor better than a shower with soap alone. My personal favorite is the Mount Fuji kind, but bourbon leather is also smooth, brings a really nice smell to the pits. This is their new spray deodorant. So they have the regular stick deodorant and they have the spray as well. They also have the whole body deodorant cream. So a lot of different variations. This is by far, I would say, the best deodorant brand I've ever personally used. It's comfortable, it lasts long, and does not irritate my skin. They are currently America's #1 whole body deodorant formula, so you need to go check them out. I would recommend the Mando starter pack, which comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of choice like the body wash and wipes, and free shipping as well. Right now, customers can get $5 off the starter pack by using my code PhillyTake5. Use the code PhillyTake5 at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Support them. Let them know RB sent you. All right, man, back to it. Nick Nurse actually talked about Joel Embiid, by the way, and he said that Embiid's 3-point volume should be up to 6 to 9 attempts per night. So my question is, what is Nick Nurse doing to get the best out of these guys? Because at this point, it just doesn't even sound reasonable. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You want to get Joel down in the block. You want him to dominate. Maybe that's why he comes out so passive. But if the Sixers were to make a move, should they go out and get Jimmy Butler? So things were going normal. You know, we talked about some of the teams last week, and today, just a whole wrinkle in the entire thing. Kevin O'Connor says lots of rumblings that the Bucks have been informed not to trade for Jimmy Butler. Chris Haynes reported the Grizzlies were told not to trade for Jimmy Butler. That's now 2 playoff teams that Butler is refusing. Does Pat Riley give Jimmy what he wants? Well, the answer to that is no. Brian Windhorst here on ESPN says Jimmy is not going to just extend with any team. And because teams know that, they're offering the Heat the poo-poo platter. And there's only one team that is ready to pay Jimmy exactly what he wants, and that is the Phoenix Suns. And it sounds just about right. The team that gave Bradley Beal, 50+ mil for 4 or 5 years, is about to pay Jimmy Butler at age 35, 50 million, 60 million per year, whatever it is. The Phoenix Suns will just never get out of that cycle. So Jimmy wants to go to Phoenix, but here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Phoenix can't get him. Phoenix cannot get him. If we look at the Miami Heat and we look at Jimmy Butler, he's making 48.8 mil, and the Suns are a second apron team. So if we go to the Phoenix Suns, they're going to have to trade Bradley Beal, who has a no trade clause. Bradley Beal making 50 mil, then 53.6, and then 57 on a player option. They'd have to trade him, and who knows if he's going to want to be. So Jimmy can try to force his way all he wants, but ladies and gentlemen, right now, he's in a tough situation. And it's crazy that he's out here demanding which teams he wants to go to. Evan Sideri says, none of Jimmy's other preferred destinations, Mavs, Rockets, Warriors, are showing interest in trading for him ahead of the deadline. Suns are the only team eagerly awaiting the chance to bring him aboard and reward him a 2-year, $112 million extension. So that sounds a little more reasonable, but I still don't think Jimmy's the answer for Phoenix. I feel like they have a lot of guys that do the same thing. I feel like Jimmy's just going to be another ball handler, and when he and KD get pissed off and frustrated, they're just going to quit, which is actually kind of what they showed last night on the floor, and why if Joel Embiid did play, the Sixers would have beat him. Aiden Laporta here puts Paul George versus Jimmy Butler stats comparison. PG 16-6-4, Jimmy 18-6-5. Jimmy shooting 37% from 3, 55 from the field. PG 33 from 3 and 42 from the field. So I do think this is a little skewed because Jimmy, at most points is the number 1 on the Heat, while PG has been primarily the number 3 on the Sixers. But, last week I said, no, absolutely, I would not budge. And still, I don't like the idea of bringing back another 35-year-old star and Daryl Morey paying him. I wish they would have done this before. But when you look at where things are at, they're going to have to figure it out and make some type of move. The problem is with the Sixers, they have everybody locked in until at least 2026, 27. See, people don't realize this is just the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. If we look at the Sixers cap table, Joel Embiid, PG, Maxey, all for 2024, all for 2025, all for 2026. It's not even until 2027 that they are going to be able to get off these contracts. So that's the scary part about this, is that if they can't stay healthy, if they can't play games, then what do you do for the next several years? Do you just eat all the money and then just screw yourself and not contend for a while? This is just not good if they are not healthy. Now, again, if they can actually get them back rested, healthy, playing together, they've showed potential that, hey, they can make noise, but you're getting farther and farther into a season that's feeling like a wash because you're not giving us any confidence that they can do that. One place I think would be good for Jimmy Butler is the Golden State Warriors. Why? Because they actually have young pieces that they can trade to Miami. And now apparently they don't want them, but they can package some of these young guys together and afford that contract. The Sixers don't have any leverage. The Sixers can only trade Paul George for Jimmy Butler, and Pat Riley will not do that. He will not inherit the next 3 years of Paul George just to do it, just to get off Jimmy, because even if you look at the Miami Heat, a lot of people are now saying if nobody can be a suitable trade partner, how about Miami just lets him play out the year, see how it goes, and then hopefully he opts out. Now, he could opt in and force a trade, but Miami can still say, no, you opted in, you got to be here. And if not, you're just going to sit out a whole other year and then be 37 years old. So I think we're looking for another standoff coming. I don't think Pat Riley will just budge. And I think a lot of the player entitlement now is insane. I mean, again, respect to these guys for getting their money, but you signed a contract, you opted in, and now you're sitting here saying, I'm just not going to play regardless. I mean, the team essentially gets screwed. I think they're eventually going to have to change something about the way that this works and how guys, can eventually just do this and then settle and get their money back. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. And as always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.